All right, welcome to the channel. Back at it again with the S14. Been kind of tinkering with it a little bit. I managed to get the throttle cable figured out. I took one of them little bolt deals and got him in there, got the cable in. I adjusted that to where it's pulling down just a little bit. I may end up been in this right here a little bit, but it's not pulling. It was like kind of pulling that way, but now it's kind of not quite centered, but it's definitely, actually looks like it's got a little slack under it, so it might be okay. So when I hit the throttle a time or two, we'll be able to tell. So it's not actually touching the bottom right there. It's pretty close, but I don't think it's actually, no, it's actually clear of it. So got that done. Yeah, I mean, I got a clamp I still got to come up with, which I don't know why I didn't bring the clamp. I think I even got one. I found that O2 sensor that we're going to try that and see if it actually reads. I've got the timing stuff set up on it, so that way when we get it cranked, we can put the numbers into the computer to make sure that the timing's correct in the computer. And so realistically, that clamp and finishing the inside, I think I'm there. As bad as I hate to admit that, I think I'm further than what I'm. For some reason, I feel like I'm still missing something. Throttle cable, throttle position sensor, vacuums to the fuel and to the blow-off valve. Oh, I do need a vacuum for the turbo down to the wastegate. I do need that. I may call and get some vacuum line brought down here from AutoZone. I do need to top the oil off where I changed the oil, and when I cranked it, it ran whatever into the filter. So I need to top off the oil. And I guess everything else is inside. So finally, we've made it that far. We're within a few nuts and bolts, vacuum line or two or whatever, vacuum line, clamp, cranking it and seeing if the O2 sensor's ready. And I got to cut the long bolts where I put the the battery box in the back. I got to cut those bolts off because they stick through the bottom of the trunk. And then the interior, I've got a bumper over here somewhere too that I can put on this thing, but I'm going to wait until last. But I need to make a decision: do I pull the hood or cut the hood? And man, I don't want to cut a S14 hood. I'm telling you, I've been struggling with the thought of it. May just pull it off and run a tractor flap or something. I don't know right now. I'm just debating. The ECU is actually inside the car, so that's okay. I do have the cover to the fuse box somewhere around here, so I can cover the fuse box. And so really that don't leave anything besides the turbo and the up pipe of being worried about getting water in it. So I don't know. We might make some decisions here if we're gonna just leave the hood off. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I got a throttle cable hooked up now, so one last thing. All right, here we go. All right, so I've been cleaning on the 1JZ valve covers. I didn't actually take the insides apart yet. There was so much grease and grime inside. I went with some brake cleaner and just, you can see the residue. I did get the majority of the thick caked on stuff you can see down in the corners and crevices there. I did get most of that off. I'm gonna actually unbolt these and disassemble them, and I will take them to somebody that's got a parts washer, and it's actually a heated parts washer, so we'll be able to clean those out. And then once I get that done, I'll reassemble them, and I will actually sand them down and get ready to paint them jewels. I'm debating on doing something, because usually you have a crossover between these two. And so if you do a catch can on like the billet aluminum ones, they do away with this and both of these, and they just put a billet or a fitting on the back of both of them here and run it to a catch can. So I don't know if I'm going to reconfigure anything. I may just leave what I've got and maybe just possibly run these to a catch can somewhere. I don't know. I'll debate on it, but I'll end up sanding these and painting them. I already have the paint, I already have the primer and all that stuff. But like I said, you can see they were way grimier than what they are now. I cleaned them quite a bit, but you can still see they need to be cleaned. And I hadn't took the bolts out yet to get to the where the baffle is. So that's actually baffling to keep the, I guess, to keep the oil from blowing out, you know, from, I guess, the cams running and blowing oil out of your pipes and stuff. So that'll go back in after I get it cleaned. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's as far as I'm going to get today. We're actually going drifting this weekend, so I guess the next video, possibly after this one, will be us in Mid Pond. We're going to leave out, what is today? Thursday. We're going to leave out like Saturday at 3 in the morning, something like that, 4 in the morning, and then we'll drive down, drift all day Saturday, and then drive back and get home like early Sunday morning, late Saturday night. That's normally how we do it. So it's Memorial Day weekend, so that way we can get back, and if we're going to do anything as a family or whatever at home, I'd like to get back, get that knocked out, and you know, get our traveling done and the car back home and all that stuff for the week. And because Monday's Labor Day, and yeah, this will be a good trip to Mid Pond. I think we're gonna, I guess it's like a Memorial Day bash between like Nashville guys and Mid Pond, something like that. I'm not really sure, like maybe a small competition kind of thing. I don't really know. We've already paid and got our tickets figured out. So that's where we'll be this weekend. We'll get you some drift videos coming soon. But yeah, I'm going to continue to work on that. I may take a peek under the valve cover of the K24 just to lay eyes on it and see what we got. But yeah, after this, we're on our way drifting. So, all right, here we go. All right, so I got the valve cover off of the K24A2. Let's take a look. Just typical. You can see that thing's got wear on it. It's got some miles. Nothing looks crazy. The center, well, that one's a little wet, so there's probably a little seepage around that for some oil. I guess, I'm assuming that's probably your seals on these instead of like on a regular Civic. These dudes are way down in there. But you can see wear on the cams. Nothing's like crazy rusted up. I don't think anything looks out of place. I think everything looks stock to me. I just wanted to pull it off, see if anything was, you know, milky, or if there like was blown head gasket or anything. For me, it just looks like a typical motor with miles on it. Don't see anything outlandish. There's some surface rust from where it's sat, like on your cams or whatever. That's realistically all it's going to be. Maybe a good valve adjustment might fix or something. Like it wasn't wearing right there. But overall, it looks okay, I guess. I'm not a K-Series guy, but I don't see nothing that scares me on this motor. I don't see that it's been rebuilt or anything, any kind of aftermarket accessories. I don't guess any of that's anything different. RBB, that's the TSX one, I'm assuming. Everybody says you want the RBB head. So I didn't know that much about them. And so a guy told me that you can get the K24s and not get the good one. You can get the K24A2 out of something besides the TSX, but everybody's like, get the 05, 06 TSX with the RBB-2 head. That's supposed to be the better one in the US. That's what this one is. Luckily I got it that way. I didn't get the one that everybody, I guess they say they think they got a K24A2, but it's not the correct one, not as powerful. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to decide, but yeah, there's supposed to be a better head in the K24s. It's like RBB-3. I think that's like the top R head or something for these K24s. That's supposed to be better than this one, but some stuff I'm reading, it says to go to a K20 head or whatever with a K20 oil pump for high revving, and that raises the compression. I don't know if that's just for all motors. I don't know if that's just because that head flows so much better than this one. I don't know the purpose. But like I say, I'm just kind of getting into this. This is all new, but the motor looks okay. So I'm happy with that. So that's a good start with it. All right, we'll put the valve cover back on it and we'll be done with that. All right, we're gonna call that a day. Hey everybody, thanks for watching our videos. Thanks for subscribing, liking, sharing. Appreciate all that stuff. Thanks everybody for watching the videos. We're still dragging on with the 240 before we can get into something else, but like I said, this thing has absolutely taken forever. This is the longest I've ever worked on any one car in my life, so bear with me. I'm trying to get this thing done. I'm down to the minimal amount of stuff, just the basics. Some wiring, and I did actually order a LRB dash, because I didn't have the upper dash. All I had was the bottom. So I ordered the LRB sheet metal that will come all the way down. It'll cover my gauges, it'll cover my radio, and it's solid. And so I'm gonna cut out what I need for my push button start and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do away with the one I got that's got the 3 gauges. I don't need the 3 gauges. I even had a wideband prepared to put in it, but I think everything's gonna turn out okay. I think everything's gonna be decent on this. I'm waiting on that to finish wiring up the inside. So I'm just putting everything on hold. I'm not sitting here fighting and cranking it, because what I'm installing will be a push button start, and that'll get away from the click, click, click. Finally just get it to where I can push the button, the car will crank every time. And so I'm not fighting it before I even worry about trying to tune it or do anything past here. So I'm gonna put on hold the 240. I'm gonna worry about painting the valve covers, the 1J stuff. I could set the 1J and the CD trans in the S13 right after this and within a day, but I don't have a hood. I don't have any way to keep it protected if I put it back outside. So I'm gonna wait on that. I may mate them together just to put them in the same location, but I might end up getting some like valve cover gasket, or not valve cover gaskets, but front seal, rear seal, and some other stuff for the 1J to reseal that thing, then bolt it to the CD transmission. That way they're both together, they're both out of the way, and that kind of thing. So I've got a game plan here, and I still got to work on some rentals. I got to get back out to that double wide and do some stuff there. But we're going to do some drifting this weekend. We're going to take a break from some work, and so you'll be getting some drift footage coming next couple of days. And if you're not at Mid Pond this weekend, it's your loss. For everybody that's going to be at Mid Pond this weekend, come find me, guys. Let's shoot the breeze. Let's have fun. Let's do some drifting. Let's lay out some rubber on some tires. Let's have a good time. So, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high.